Now, have you noticed how simple we try to keep our services? I mean, why? Have you ever thought about that? Well, for one, I believe tough times are coming, and I think it's good not to go broke on getting a lot of bells and whistles for the sake of having them. Now, for those churches that have those bells and whistles, that's great. You know, for some people that really attracts them, for some people that really helps them. It doesn't really work for everybody. But all I'm saying is I'm not going to try to compare myself and try to compete with someone else and say, well, they have this and we need to get a bigger one. Or if they have this type of stuff, then we need to get a better, faster one. So we're not going to go broke trying to compete with other people. We're going to do what we've been called to do. And also, you know what? Having a simple service allows the average person to hopefully not just attend a service, but feel like they're participating in an experience with God himself. It also helps to give us the options to keep our meetings flexible, whether it be through adding multiple times without a need for a huge volunteer staff, or be able to change times if necessary. And about volunteers, you might ask, well, why so many options, or why so few options? Now, I don't want to bog anyone down, to be honest, from going out into the world and getting involved in all areas of society. Volunteering to serve one another in church is important, but we need some volunteers out in the PTA. We need some people going out for school board. We need some people going out for mentor programs and different groups and associations out there. We need people reaching out and going for the orphanages. Those are volunteer opportunities too. And you don't have to wait for me to give you a position. We desire to see some of you leading small groups and gathering in your homes, whether it be friends and family, neighbors or co-workers, all digging deeper with God. Whatever you are passionate about, that's what you need to be able to walk in. Now, here at TGC, we want to build a culture where you gain a sense of empowerment. A sense of empowerment where you're hearing God's voice and being obedient and having a support structure to help you be faithful and effective. I invite you to check out our leadership website, our leadership section that we have on our website, to give you a little bit more information and details, and just to review just the two things that we value in leadership, which is empowerment and servant leadership. Remember, simplicity, goodness, and authenticity is how we begin this work of rebuilding. We are facing some tough times with the economy and people in positions of government that are more interested in preserving their own power than protecting our liberties. God's answer to situations like this are still the same today. God said to the people of Israel through the prophet Jeremiah, "Go stand at the crossroads and look around. Ask for directions to the ancient road, the tried and true road, then take it. Discover the right route for your souls." But the people said, nothing doing. We aren't going that way. God answered and said, "I've even provided watchmen for them to warn them and to set off alarm." But the people said, "Oh, it's a false alarm. It doesn't concern us." God follows. And so I'm calling all the nations as witnesses. Watch and witness what happens to them. Pay attention. You find that in Jeremiah 6:16 through 20. Now, how are you going to respond to God's call? What road will you take? If we remain defiant, arrogant, or ignorant, we will fail. But look at what happens when people choose wisely. Zechariah 10:3 through 5. God's message to his people as they were rebuilding and as they came back from exile. He gave them a call to rebuild. He gave them a call to turn back. And these people answered the call, and listen to how God described them. Zechariah 10:3 through 5 says, "God, the commander of heaven's army, will step in and take care of his flock, the people of Judah. He'll revive their spirits and make them proud to be on God's side. God will use them in his work of rebuilding, and use them as foundations and pillars. Use them as tools and instruments. Use them to oversee his work. They will be a workforce to be proud of, working as one. Their heads held high, striding through swamps and mud, courageous and vigorous because God is with them, not letting the world's thugs stop them." So Let me ask you, what course are you taking in your life? Are you going to be on the sidelines, or will you answer God's call to give yourself completely to him? Now, notice a lot of those words that Zechariah said that God will use, and God will use, and God will use. I want you to think about this. Does it feel good when people use you? Does it feel good to be used? Some people don't like that phrase. Because when in our society, when we say someone used me, it shows that the person showed little care about who you are as a person. They just wanted you for what you can give them. But you know what? God is different. When God uses, he doesn't use you because all he cares about is what you can do for him. God cares about you. He loves you. And being used is not this, when God uses us, it's not this being used of being manipulated. It is a people that respond and say, God, because of who you are, and because how much I love you, I want to give my life to you. And I want to love you not just in words, but with my actions and with my deeds. The Bible does talk about that faith without deeds, without action, is dead. So know that God is not using you just because of a talent that you have, or he's just using you to achieve a goal. You are his ultimate goal. You is what he laid everything down for. So what course are you going to take? There's 3 things I want you to think about. 3 things to sum up the movement that's happening right now. And I want you to understand that times are changing, and they're changing fast. They require each individual to choose how they will react. They require a genuine and authentic relationship with God. And they require personal responsibility. Our summer focus is going to be learning. I want to help you learn your part. I want to draw that leader that's inside of you. And we're going to dig deep. We're going to dig our roots deep into God. And so my challenge for you is to be the church. Gateway Church did this series a couple of weeks ago, where it was called Being the Church, and they had this word letter B. And there was 4 things that they talked about. There was believe. God, have faith. It all starts in there. Remember, we just got over the God quest. What you believe determines how you live and what you're going to do with your life. So you have to believe and have hope. Have faith and hope for a better tomorrow. Belong was the second one. Belong is belonging to a community. Belonging to a group of, especially a group of other believers that are going to encourage you and keep you on the right track. We're not meant to be isolated and live on islands. There is a level of community that God values, and he values our relationships. So believe, belong, and become is the third one. Become a true follower of Jesus Christ. That become is a process. It's not just an automatic thing. Learn, grow, apply. Be like Jesus. And the last one was build. What are you building with your life? What are you building with your actions? What are you doing? Is there a business that you need to start? Is there a business you need to save? What are you building with your life? Is there an organization? Is there an outreach that you need to begin? What are you doing? That's my encouragement for all of you. We're not called to go to church, so go be the church. Believe in God. Belong to a group of people that will keep you honest and help you dig deeper and help you walk with God. Become more like him and build his kingdom here on earth.